wall. Or you have air movement. The air movement is one of the things that contributes to reduced energy efficiency. Where the wires come into a light box that has your switches in it, behind the cover plate on your light switch, if that's not properly sealed, you have another avenue for conditioned air to move in and out and through that wall. Sealing these penetrations after the house is, or at the point where the house gets its final rating, could be an extremely difficult, expensive, time-consuming, and complex process. A strict application of the HERS rating, you come up with a house that misses it. Let's say the corrective measures are determined to cost $30,000, $40,000, $50,000. What's the alternative? Tear the house down and start over again? I don't think that's really what you want to do. You want to learn from that experience how to build a more efficient house next time, and that's typically what you'll see happening. There's a learning curve associated with building more efficient homes. I think they've seen that over in Lawrence, where they've adopted the 2009 code and have for 3 years now been successfully building increasingly more efficient homes. I think that this gives the homeowner and the contractor an opportunity to have full disclosure and a clear understanding of what the product represents and how it relates to the community's standard for efficiency. That standard for efficiency travels with the house its whole life. I believe the day will come, because I've seen this happen in other jurisdictions, where people will purchase houses more because of their energy efficient qualities than the way the yard is landscaped or the quality of bathroom fixtures. I think that particularly as energy escalates in cost, we will become an increasingly demanding culture as far as energy efficient dwellings and commercial buildings. I think that this is something you may see occur in the beginning of the implementation phase. I think it's something that you will see diminish over the course of the first year or two, because builders will learn how to build houses that meet the rating. Builders don't want to have to build a house that's tagged with an 87 or an 89 point rating. That builds dissatisfied customers. That may trigger contractual rebates to the customer. It's hard to say what exactly could happen, but I think that builders are going to want to build competitive, high-quality products, and I think you're going to see that happen.
So in looking into the HERS, I compared it to LEED certification in the commercial building industry.
There's a lot of similarity. I think that one of the things about the HERS rating, it really is more consistent with a residential product.
Absolutely.
Than LEED rating and commissioning buildings.
Right. And so with that being said, I've worked in and managed, gold certified, platinum certified, et cetera, from a LEED certification. This is a commercial application. So my question is, do we have or have we identified developers, residential developers that have HERS certification? And my guess, kind of where I'm leading you is, in a perfect world, we as Gardner would be able to say to the HERS certified developers, hey, we're interested in doing business with you. I mean this in a holistic way, but are there such a certification, pre-certified developers out there that already have this type of rating so that the learning curve is not so...
There are developers who have been for a number of years building buildings to these standards.
So like Rod Rock as an example.
Rod Rock is a builder. I've known Brian at least for years.
Mm-hmm.
He's always built code-compliant products and
Sure.
has always been good to work with.
But would he be a good, or would they be a good example of a HERS certified residential developer?
I'll be honest with you. I haven't done enough building inspection since I left City LNX in 2005 to be able to tell you what Broad Rock's current product is like. I don't mean to be evasive, but I just...
No, I don't care about the who, I was more interested in the what. And the what is, are there developers out there that are certified and have knowledge of the HERS certification so that learning
Yes.
curve is not as immense?
Yes,
Okay.
there are. Yes.
Does the HERS certification, though, it applies to the home, not the builder, right?
The certification, the rating certification, the numeric certification applies to the home. There are nationally certified HERS raters. There are home performance raters who go through process of education, nationally recognized testing, who are certified as raters. One of the things that we plan to do on the contractor licensing website, we don't have a category of contractor for these residential performance evaluators. So what we're going to do is develop a feature on our contractor licensing website that will list certified HERS raters.
Just the raters, though, not the builders.
That's correct, the raters themselves. And citizens will be able to go access that list, verify that the person doing the evaluation on their home is in fact a HERS certified rater, that they're knowledgeable, that they meet nationally recognized standards as far as competency and ethics and performance standards.
So which, I'm sorry, you finished there?
I'm done. Go ahead.
Which of the items for instance, on insulation, what things were downgraded by us and by other communities? Or actually anything that has to do with energy efficiency? Which things, I guess, do the builders want us to take out?
I think there's a recognition that there's a diminishing return for wall insulation. Once you get above R13, the amount of efficiency you gain by going to R19 or R21 wall insulation is nowhere near as much in terms of effect as horizontal insulation assemblies like attics and roofs. I think that and one of the problems with the high efficiency wall systems, you wind up with a wall that's typically thicker than a wall that has R13 insulation in it. The additional framing products and insulation products probably are only going to add 20-25% to the cost of materials. There'll be a slight elevation in terms of the cost of actually assembling those materials. But some of the unintended consequences of those thicker wall assemblies are you have to go from a standard 8-inch thick foundation wall to a 10-inch thick foundation wall. That starts building in a substantive amount of cost. And I don't know that it really brings a substantive added structural value to the home commensurate with the cost. I started enforcing the code with the 1976 Uniform Building Code. It was a document that was about this thick, and it was I think it was an 8 by 4.5 inch format book. The code now, the 2012 edition of the residential code, is over 900 pages long. It weighs a pound more than the building code associated with all other types of construction. I think that responsible code administration mandates a minimum level of life and safety protection, but I think it also has to take into consideration a cost-benefit analysis associated with non-life safety issues. I think that you can come in and demand the very, very highest level of energy efficiency and suddenly develop a product that may cut a portion of the marketplace out of being able to buy buildings or homes. There is expense associated with energy efficiency. I think ideally,